Witness a remarkable story about a man and one of the world's most fearsome predators in the video. Join us on a journey that will take your breath away. What do you guys think? Can a man and a wild cat be friends? To find out, watch the entire video. Wild cats, such as tigers, lions, and leopards, and cheetahs, are dangerous and can cause severe harm or even death to humans. Therefore, trying to form a bond with these animals in the wild or captivity without proper training and precaution is not recommended. In some cases, people may form bonds with smaller wildcats, such as severals, caracals, ocelots, when these animals are raised in captivity and have been socialized with humans from a young age. However, it is important to note that even these smaller wildcats can be unpredictable and potentially dangerous if they feel threatened or uncomfortable. It is also important to recognize that wild animals belong in their natural habitat and should not be kept as pets or used for entertainment. Keeping feral cats in captivity can negatively impact their physical and psychological well-being, contributing to the decline of their wild populations. Instead, efforts should be made to conserve and protect wild cats' populations and their habitats. Winter is approaching quickly after autumn, and all forest animals are busy. They must prepare adequately for the upcoming winter in Rajasthan, India, so they don't go hungry in the wild. On the head of this leopard is a white iron pot. As you get closer, you'll notice that the iron pot has firmly buckled the leopard's head. The leopard temporarily lost its sight due to the iron pot and began seeking help everywhere. What happened was that the wind blew away the fallen leaves in the woods, and the earth turned a golden color as well. A leopard is out looking for food and storing grain for the winter. Finding food was perhaps too exhausting, and the leopard desired to find some water to drink. But finding water in the forest during this season is difficult. Sparks began to appear in front of the leopard. Without food and water for an extended period, it felt that body would soon be unable to sustain it. A white iron pot appeared unexpectedly in front of the leopard. This should be a passerby who abandoned their iron pot accidentally when passing by. But the leopard rushed up and plunged into the kettle to drink water, as if seeing a life-saving straw. Even though it was very thirsty, the leopard drank very well. When the leopard wanted to leave, it discovered an anomaly. It found that its head was firmly trapped inside the bottle and couldn't move, and the entire water bottle had wrapped around the leopard's head. The leopard started tearing back and forth with its claws at first, but the iron pot seemed to stick to its head, and there was no sign of it falling off. With no other option, the leopard began to rescue himself from all available resources. The leopard initially slammed the water bottle against the hard object, but after a few rounds, it caused a concussion and caused the leopard never to take risks. After about 3 days, the leopard dared not to stop and began roaming in surroundings. The leopard did walk to the residential area. During the walk, it seemed to hear sounds all around the leopard and came to a complete stop. It then began to circle the place as if hoping for help from people on the road. When the residents saw the leopard with its head covered with the white iron pot, they slowed down. But the leopard was ferocious by nature, and no one dared to approach it efficiently. They became more concerned as more people gathered around the leopard. The leopard has been threatened by the white iron pot placed on its head for 3 days. Some enthusiastic bystanders quickly called the local animal rescue organization and explained the situation. Everyone has seen leopards, but they are usually found in zoos. Such wild leopards are uncommon. After the rescuers arrived on the scene to assess the situation, they began to control it, following the circumstances. After completing all necessary preparations, the rescuers slowly approached the leopard. The leopard should have spent a long time trapped in the white iron pot on its head. When the rescuers approached the leopard, it did not fight back and allowed them to touch it. When the rescuers saw that the leopard was entirely under control, they injected it with anesthesia. After the anesthesia wore off, everyone grabbed professional rescuing tools and began a series of rescue procedures. The leopard was finally rescued after the rescue team's combined effort. The white iron pot on its head was divided into 2, considering that the leopard had not rested for a long time, and that this would affect various bodily functions. The leopard was not immediately released, but was instead adopted by the rescuers. After recovery, the leopard's body functions gradually returned to normal, and it was the best stage to release the leopard. The staff removed the leopard from the center and relocated it to the forest depth, far away from humans. The leopard, we believe, will no longer be bothered by the white iron pot in its new home, where there are many of its kind. Our next story is about a man's bond with cougar. This cougar named Mocha had a bad fate before meeting the man, but it found a new home after meeting him. Mocha was a poor cougar whose parents were killed by poachers shortly after it was born. The loss of his parents took Mocha aback, and he couldn't believe he'd become an orphan after only a short time without a family to rely on. There was no brothers, sisters nearby, and the future looked bleak. Mocha couldn't help but cry because she knew the end was heartbreaking. The man was a licensed feline trainer, and he was a certified feline trainer. The man first saw Mocha while attempting to survive in the wilderness. He was competing with other teammates, then he heard Mocha purring late at night. With suspicion in his heart, the man must track down the source of the sound. It eventually noticed Mocha shivering in the corner and realized that Mocha required assistance. The man decided to give the cougar a new experience, even though it had lost its parents, which did not mean that Mocha would continue to survive in a loveless environment in the future. The man had previously obtained a license to train feline handlers, so his first thought when he saw the cougar was not fear, but of paying attention to the tiny creature. After bringing the cougar home, Mocha appeared to be very comfortable with the environment, and its timid mentality did not change at all. To provide Mocha with enough living space and to allow it to adapt to its surroundings gradually, the man purposefully built a large cabin for Mocha while in their garden to provide it with a special resting place. Given the cougar's unique characteristics, the man sought out a local institution to report in advance. He also needed to provide a feedback to them on Mocha's living condition to ensure that Mocha could live in a healthy environment. The agency also advised professionals to investigate it. The results were consistently excellent. Raising Mocha was a difficult task. To care better for Mocha, the man requested that his supervisors relocate closer to his home, making it easier for him to manage Mocha. Mocha had learned how to pamper the man in their relationship over time. When we saw Mocha being pampered by the man, we thought it was a large cat rather than a cougar. The man did not want to abandon Mocha in the wild as she grew older. He enjoyed spending time with her. And Mocha was even more hesitant to leave the house as she grew older. The man inquired with a nearby institution, eventually confirming that he could continue adopting Mocha. When the man returned home and told Mocha the excellent news, he appeared overjoyed. That Mocha could finally stay with the man, it gradually confirmed the idea that the man's mind over the next few days. That Mocha may have recognized the man's emotions, but it was up to the man to take the initiatives and kiss him to express his gratitude. The man treated Mocha as if it was his child, growing up in his care. Mocha outlived the average wild cougar by several years. It was also in Mocha's company that the man felt extra proud of himself. Despite his confusion, he thought the news was worth celebrating. And that night he invited his best friends to come home and to share the happy good information. After hearing the man's confession, Mocha's friend expressed her sympathy. After all, she had been with the man so long that it's natural for her to hesitate. These two stories tell us about the human's bond with wildcats. If you like this video, leave a like and subscribe, and remember to share with your friends and family.